Hi there, it's Charlotte Thornton. How are you doing? It's another Mindset Mini, and today I thought I'd talk about global events. So I'm going to talk about global events without actually talking about any specific global events, because this video is going to be timeless and it will apply to any global event. But here's the thing I wanted to suggest to you. We were not intended to hear about everything going on everywhere around the world. And we certainly weren't intended for that responsibility and of other people's suffering to be on our shoulders 24/7. That was never intended and is only a consequence of obviously technology that we are able to know what's going on. So it was never intended as human beings for us to carry the weight of that. And it is quite a heavy weight, especially for those of us that are highly empathic and we feel other people's pain and we don't want anyone to be suffering. So it's a really lovely intention, but when it gets misdirected into watching lots of news, seeing lots of negative images, what happens that instead of being a positive influence in the situation, we add our own anger and rage and frustration and fear into the collective. Okay, so there's a collective energy that the human race has. And in order for there to be essentially global peace, world peace and ease, and for everyone to be at a better standard of living, we all need to clear our own stuff so that what we add to the collective is our light and not our dark. So if you watch lots of negative imagery that upset you and you get angry about it and agitated about it, but actually cannot do anything to help those people, all that you're actually doing is adding more dark to the collective. Now, one of the few things that we can do is to be in a high vibration and to be a higher being of light. So if you go and look up the power of transcendental meditation, so they sent transcendental meditators to certain areas throughout history, and it's something small, like 3,000 to 6,000 people who are very experienced at transcendental meditation, and they can reduce crime and violence and even attacks, like attacks of war. So what they're doing is something very peaceful, and they're focusing on peace. What we're doing when we constantly get involved in global events, of which we can have no actual control, is we're feeling disempowered, which makes us very angry, makes us fearful, and we're creating the opposite of the transcendental meditators. We're actually creating a whole load of negative energy that goes into the collective. So if we can't do anything about it, I would question how much of this do we need to consume? Because the news can happen very frequently. If you've got the radio on every half an hour, the same thing is being bashed into us. And like I say, it's genuinely upsetting, and our upsetness doesn't help. So it's lovely as human beings that we care. And of course, we want to do something about it. But really what we can focus on is ourselves and what we bring to the collective whole. And that's clearing up our own baggage and moving out of hatred and fear and into balance and love. And also to understand we're powerful manifestors. So we want to manifest in not the things that are scary, that could maybe happen and maybe might not happen, but we want to be manifesting in peace and love. So we need to stay there as much as possible. It's very hard to stay there when you're being inundated with negative news. Yeah. So I totally get everyone's need to know what's going on, assuming, you know, sometimes we don't find out years later what actually goes on with some world events. So it's not always that we are finding out what's going on, but we're subjecting our soul, our energetic body, our nervous system, our eyes and our brains to lots of images and concepts and ideas that I think will not only take you off the path of your acting success, but don't actually help the very people that you are getting upset about. So I just want you to really consider how much news you take in. Certainly before you go to bed and first thing in the morning, that's an absolute no-no. You need to clear all of that. The best way to create change is to start with ourselves and then with our local communities, and that then spills out. And sometimes when we're so angry about events very far away that we can't control, we stop focusing on what we can control, which is ourselves and our local area. So I just think we're such powerful beings. We really need to focus on all the positives, not to spiritually bypass any uncomfortable feelings we have about things that go on in the world. and our lack of control within that. We sometimes have to sit with that. That can happen even within a family dynamic. Sometimes we have to sit with our inability to help someone who doesn't want to be helped or whatever. And there's a powerlessness there. But there is this power to shine our light, to make sure that we are not adding to hatred and fear and getting into fight or flight, which strips obviously lots of your brain back to just reptilian brain. Your mammalian brain shuts down, the neocortex shuts down. You won't be your better self. And the best thing you can do in the world is bring your better self. It's certainly the best thing you can do for your acting career, those around you, is to bring your better self. So it's not to go, la, 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 totally ignore, imagine the world's all Disney. It's not to do that at all. I'm just saying, how much do you want to marinate in negativity if it may actually bring about more of the same? So that should apply whatever global events are going on. Like I say, the weight of that is not supposed to be on your shoulders. What is on your shoulders is you, and fully taking responsibility for you and who you are out in the world. And those of us have an important job to do with every interaction we make, because there is that sort of butterfly effect. So you do have power, you do have impact. Let's put it in the right direction. Okay, awesome. Have a great week. Bye. Oh, like, share, subscribe. Thanks. Bye.